Where does Hillary Scholten stand? With radical groups that support defunding the police.
Well, hello, Mr. Headless Horseman. How are you? Nice to see you. Well, Joe Mama in the house. Nice to see you. Let me turn this light down. All right. All right. All right. Doing great. And we're live. Should be our theme song.
I know what you want and what you're thinking. I can free your sexuality. No one's ever tortured you with love.
Welcome to Tuesday night. Maybe the worst day of the week. Stand up and shout. Right, sing it. We're just gonna let this play just for a little bit. Get into some whatever. And, nice to see you, Mel Monty, Mr. Robert Wallace, in the house. All right, so I went on Saturday. Yeah, not every week. I'm starting to feel maybe one more. I don't know. Trey Rebel Farms is here. Hello. Trey in the house. In the house. Good to see you, Trey. All right. I know we won't fade it out for you. We'll do it in a minute. You guys, the world, right? Right? What's going on? What is going on? You'll just have to indulge me for this one song. There's something always behind this song. I love this song. Even though it's just a non-recorded 1980s song that was made for 1980s music. So I like it. They're ripping it. Plus, there's a lot of Eddie Van Halen influence in these riffs. But that's better. Wow. Oh my goodness. We lost one. They're like, no, he's playing music. No. All right, that's a good idea. Stand up. Stand up. He say, stand up. It's a good message. How much standing up should we do? Well, before we get into that, yeah, Nice to see you all. Thanks for coming. Mel Monty here. I see you also. I'm sorry, I just have to turn. You guys, since Saturday, what's been going on? Has much changed? There's panic. The news cycle is wonky. A lot of wonky going on in the news cycle right now. There is information that has come out now clearly about the laptop. It is in the possession of the FBI. And the second laptop in question is also in control of the FBI. So the accusation, once again, pushed out by Congressman Adam Schiff, who is the head of the Democratic House Intelligence Committee. I'm pretty sure I got that right. The guy who most of you know, Trump called him the pencil neck, Adam Schiff. Little pencil neck. The guy who claimed for the better part of 3 years now that he had irrefutable proof tying in collusion and all of that bullshit from the Mueller investigation to Russia, which is, the first part of what they really tried to do against our president. They tried to pull him out through that. So Adam Schiff lied his ass off there. The problem is that the position he's in within the Congress and in that position of being the head of the House Intelligence Committee is that he's not bound to any kind of slander or libel suits that could come against him. He's just simply not. So whatever he doesn't leak, he has no repercussion, right? He has no repercussion. So once again, he's back here now since the Russian information, and then he was also heavily involved, if you remember, in the impeachment with Ukraine of President Trump, is that we're now on to the next phase where they've already sniffed out a couple things about wanting to talk about. It didn't really get any traction because people are awake. That's the good news. But they were trying to sniff out whether they wanted to launch some sort of investigation against Trump with how he handled the COVID response, which to the best of my knowledge didn't get much traction and isn't going, but I could be wrong. But in addition to that, because these people are panicked, right? I don't even need to sell that anymore because of their reactions. It's all the time now. It's constantly. Is that Adam Schiff is coming out and saying that the information that's coming out from the Hunter Biden computer laptop that was dropped off, which now on the whatever deposit or signatory sheet that he had to sign when he handed it over, it hasn't been proven yet, but it's all really coming into big focus. So there's a lot that's going to happen, and there's a lot moving forward. Adam Schiff was pretty much stopped in his tracks. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but Department of National Intelligence chief there, Radcliffe, came out with some bombshells, actually, and completely dressed down and discredited anything that Congressman Schiff wanted to try to paint. That he wanted to put out his own narrative because they don't know what else to do. And that's once again to the points that we've been talking about and making over the last few streams and what you've been hearing in your everyday life and through other means of communication. You're seeing that there's not a lot of weight behind any of these punches that the left is trying to throw anymore. They're kind of really weak. They're weak. It doesn't mean that the deep state doesn't have like a big old thing that they could do somewhere. I mean, I'm not going to underestimate them. And I've heard other channels talk about not underestimating the deep state. And as far as being punched out, you know, and all that, they don't have any more of those small bombs that I was talking about with you guys, whatever, the last couple streams. They don't have much of that left because they've exhausted it, all of it. But it doesn't mean that they don't have a big thing that they could do to try to change the news cycle. So once again, you know, take that and be aware of your surroundings, like we always talk about, because you should. But it's really getting to the point where that's what you've got to start to come to grips with, is that, guys, we're in 7 minutes where I sit right now, it'll be 13 days till the election, but technically it's 14 right now. In 2 weeks, the fate of this country is going to be decided. And it's never been more clear how drastic the differences are in the polarization of the United States. Thankfully, most of America still has their head and their wits about them. Thankfully. They had them about them in 2016 as well, thankfully. And this movement has done nothing but grown. It's just grown from here. And the inept leftist mainstream television shows, they don't have any more anything. Their voice, which used to be strong and guide everything in this country, is dried up. It's virtually nothing. Everything about them is disgustingly fake, disgustingly misleading every night. Obama's out there campaigning for Joe. I mean, he's out there trying to talk about how Trump is not a qualified individual to hold the What does this man even have to say about Trump? Why would he have anything to say about him at all? He's a former president. The very fact, and he did campaign also in 2016 for Hillary, a little bit towards the very end when they thought, oh shit, there could be some problems. And so he got in there at the tail end. Well, it was bad for the Democrats, and thankfully it was real bad. He's getting back involved now, and he's starting to do more than just say things like, Trump, how's he going to bring back the manufacturing? How's he going to bring back the jobs? What does he have, a magic wand that he can just wave over everything and bring it back? Well, not absolutely a magic wand, but he understands the formula. He understands how the monetary system and how everything works with GDP, incoming and outgoing of domestic product. He understands all of that, thankfully. To a point that was made not long ago, he took control of the central bank. It's the next phase of the plan. First phase, dispose, or, you know, the word's gone, but you're unmasking the deep state. You are, I don't know, that word is so stupid. It's not a hard word, but it escapes me at the moment. But these people are front and center, you know. They are totally naked. Totally. The Joe Biden thing, the Hunter Biden thing, is about to get drastically worse for them. Thank you. They are exposed, D. Thank you. Yes, they are exposed. what's going on with Joe and Hunter Biden is about to get drastically worse. That's not me speculating. That's former mayor of New York who rid all the crime basically out of New York and Times Square, Rudy Giuliani. He's talking about there's going to be these pieces of information on a daily basis over the course of the next 10 days that are undefendable, non-disputable. There's nothing. It's going to destroy the presidential campaign run for the left. It's going to destroy it. That's at least what I've heard. Now, I guess if that starts tomorrow, we'll see. But the first bomb has already been dropped. The whole Hunter Biden laptop. That's huge. And they are not denying it. You guys have probably heard that other places. They're not denying it. They're not denying the accusations. Joe Biden is kind of, but he's already called the lid. Why do they call it a lid? He called the lid until the debate this Thursday. If there is a God in heaven, and I do believe there is, let this debate happen. I think in a perfect world, in the perfect scenario, Joe Biden cracks on live TV at some point in this debate. But I heard there's a mute button. So, if there's a mute button, they're going to do it for one reason. It's to stop Trump from making a point. But more importantly, it will be to frustrate him to the point of anger. That's their only play. They have to show everybody what an asshole he can be. And when he feels like he's, being agitated purposely and he's in the right, even if it means he's in the right just for he should be able to speak at this point because he has a point to make and they cut him off. They want him to blow his lid. So they want somebody's going to maybe blow their lid on Thursday night. I don't think it's going to be President Trump. I don't think he's going to blow his lid. Do you? I don't think he will. I think he'll be aggressive. I think he'll be rude. But that man was born rude. He's like, doctor, really? Do you really have to smack my ass? I was just born. Do you know what I went through? You're a terrible, horrible individual. Okay? Horrible. Yeah. I don't know. So if everything that, Giuliani says is happening and there's going to be these little bits that are undefendable over the next 10 days, what's that going to do to their ticket? Will he be forced to step down? Man, if he does step down and doesn't run for president before November 3rd and someone else does, that'll be the greatest call of, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of left out there in the open that might not be the case, but that it could easily be the case that he won't be running before the date. And I'll just say, in light of everything that's coming out with the laptop and all of that, it certainly would appear that he would have good reason to step down. Very good reason. I want to make an appeal to you people out there, if there's anybody out there that eventually sees this, because believe it or not, this gets watched a little bit. More importantly, I hope that the people that do watch it take some of, the things that we talk about and think about, and they try to help people, because that's what it's about, right? It's really about getting our country back. It's never been more important than it is right now. to really connect to the movement, just what Trump represents. It's huge. It's huge. Raise your hand if you knew that was coming right after I said it. Yeah, I did. I'll raise my hand. I'm a party of one. You guys, for real, this thing with Giuliani, the 10 days, everything going on with social media, all the channels, the truth channels that have been shut down, like just gone, right? They're done. You can see them on other platforms, and I hope you are finding them on like BitChute and Parler and what is it? Gab. Pardon me. And CloudHub. I hope you're finding them. But I mean, the disinformation and the depths they'll go to is really real. I mean, I even, just having been a fan of these channels, even though I'm watching them on other platforms, it's not the same. It's clunky. I mean, yeah, eventually you get to it. You get to hear it. It's good. I love it. I like it. I support it. But, this was a purposeful attack by the left to take a shot at the patriots. They took down the biggest truth channels that were in the movement. Took them down, just shut them down. And there is some washover from that. I know I've spoke about that. I know, but it's a big deal. It's a really big deal right now. We're going into an election. These people should be jailed for election interference by what they're doing. In all reality, but at a minimum, they should not be allowed to ban these channels. Protection by, they're banning the people that support Trump and the movement. I mean, WTF? How is that why am I even upset about it that these channels are banned? Nobody should be banned. But on the other hand, I guess it just goes forward and shows how exposed they are, and their whole plan is exposed. The Patriots have really played their hand in all of this quite well. They've done an amazing job at navigating through what we're watching, right down to Justice Ginsburg passing away, to the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett. In its time, with what's going on in this presidency and everything, there's some things that don't feel like they could be coincidence. And there's some things that maybe have been alluded to. And maybe, why did Fox News print an obituary for RBG like a year plus a few months prior to what was told was the actual death? Why is that? You could blow it off. You could say it's not a big deal. But I would tell you that you don't accidentally post somebody's death on a national live broadcast and call it an accident. How does that even hold up? What happened? Okay, it happened. And did it get covered up? Did they have a life-saving medicine that they thought she was gone and they kept her alive? Who knows? But for her to pass away suddenly this close to the, kind of feels like there's more to the story. Although I don't want to speculate what that could be, because then that would make me really weird. But it feels like there's more to the story. And, she's going through with sailing colors. She is an excellent, excellent choice in every way. Democrats don't need to hate her, but they hate Trump, so they hate her. So it doesn't matter. As you well know, that's why they won't answer the question about packing the courts if they win the presidency. Of course they will, because they know Amy Coney Barrett is going to get into the Supreme Court, and the Republicans are going to hold a 6-3 majority. And they simply can't have that for future endeavors. So if they win the presidency, here's what's going to happen. If they win the presidency and they somehow manage to win out a majority in the Senate and they maintain their majority in the House, if this happens, they will effectively they will immediately move to create Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico as 2 additional states within the United States, which are 100% going to be filled by Democrats. And ipso facto, you have 4 additional senators in the Republican or in the Democrat Party, and they now hold a majority. And if somehow Kamala is the vice president, should there ever be a tie within the Senate, vice president holds the final vote for all that. That's what's awesome about Mike Pence being vice president right now and being vice president all through Judge Kavanaugh. Had they got enough turds to flip beyond Jeff Flake and Mitt, did Mitt flip? Was Mitt in? Mel, help me. Maybe Mel. Was Mitt in the Senate before Kavanaugh? And if I'm really showing my ignorance, are you going to tell me that, yeah, Mitt was a senator before that still, Bill? But yeah, he might have been. I don't know. I can't keep track of the whole damn country, okay? I'm sorry. I felt myself wanting to go into Trump, and I want you to know that for the good of this and the good of you, I stopped myself. You should be proud. I said you should be proud, okay? Proud. Okay. Okay. All right. So, the other part of this 10 Days of Darkness, I wanted to hit on this too. Salute. Happy Tuesday. We're going into hump day. All right. So, the other part of this, guys, and I don't want to make this like dramatic because it's not, but the other side of this is that I've heard talking points that say anybody that's talking about the stuff that I've been talking about now for the last 29 and a half minutes is really not going to be tolerated, because as these things start dropping over the next 10 days, as that's kind of what we've been told by Giuliani, is that the crackdown on censorship is going to get stronger and harder than you can imagine. So I imagine that they're going to use, bots that go out there and attack certain words or phrases like I'm saying right now. And I think a lot of the phrases that they're probably not going to want to be on here. So, excuse me, the long and the short of it is that even my channel, by the time this 10 days is up, could be taken down. I mean, anybody that's ever spoken an ill word against the Democrats, in reality, if they're really trying to shut it down and they're just sending bots out to find those attachments, whether they're in the title or in your speech or in the chat or any of that, I mean, they could go full mode to find that stuff and just shut it all down, like any of you. And I'm included in the any of you. I mean, so I won't be surprised, honestly, if that happens by the time we get to the end of the 10 days. But it also tells me one thing that I feel like I should do. And to put the theory to test, I guess, is I don't know. I feel like I should go live maybe, before next Tuesday, or, maybe go once or twice before next Tuesday. Maybe check in. Well, depending on the news, let's see what happens. I mean, if Giuliani says something's going to happen every day over the course of the next 10 days, let's see what happens. Maybe we'll come on and talk about it tomorrow night. I don't know. But shit. I mean, guys, the election, all of it, right? It's like right there. And what's crazy is that Biden's up in the polls and nobody goes to any of his events. Nobody goes to his events. I know I spoke about that 100,000 times. The guy has I don't even know what to really say. It's just, guys, the level of deception that is in front of the people that watch TV. You think about 2020, the year started off with an impeachment. I mean, think about the last 3 years. They've just gone after our guy. They've gone after him. But 2020 especially. What the Trump administration did, and understand that we've been kind of told and shown, we've been watching a movie for much longer than since COVID. And we're at the point now where there is visual, absolute panic going on. You see it. It's not just talking points like, wow, we're really, really winning. And there's panic in DC. People, when they say there's panic in DC, people are chattering, people are calling each other. I think that's why those things started to come out, is that there were, through the accumulation of truth bombs that were happening over the course of the last 3 years, there were certain things multiple times that happened that caused panic in DC. They felt maybe a barrier they had set up against Trump crumble, and boom, and now they rolled to the next one. It caused panic in DC. And that's why that's so appropriate, honestly, throughout the course of this whole thing. There is major panic in DC tonight. Major panic. This is not good at all for the Biden camp. It's not good for the Democrats, period. And it's not an accident that this thing has turned into a dumpster fire train wreck, coming into maybe the most 2 critical weeks that you could ever have for an election. This is military planning and precision at its finest that we're watching. And all Trump has done the entire time is defended himself. Not really on the offense. He is just defended, deflected, defended his position, defended what he was doing. He defended it because they were always on the offensive attack. All he had to do was continue to take all of these slings and arrows, gladly for you, the American people. And he took them, just like he said he was going to take them. And he did, and he has, and he continues. And, hey, man, I don't think the guy walks on water. I don't put him above anything, but we owe him a huge debt of gratitude when this is done. And respect that is unsurpassed by maybe but a few. You know, I didn't like everything about him before that. The only time I really liked Donald Trump was when I heard him talking on television programs when he was on like Oprah, when he was being interviewed, because the guy just sounded like he knew the problem in America, and he knew that everybody was kicking our ass. But what he really knew is that America was for sale, and he learned that. There's no way they could have convinced him to run for president unless he knew that what was going to happen was not only going to save a lot of lives, but that ultimately it was going to, I don't know. Man, I honestly, now that I say it, I don't know what his motivation was. You know, I like him. He's my president. I love him. I really do. I'm voting for him. But when he maybe initially got in, he thought, well, you know what? They're going to take all of mine anyway, so I might as well go after them. You know, and it might have been just like that. Like a selfish type of, I'm going to go after them. I wouldn't hold that against him if that was part of his motivation. He was, not in my opinion, but what what I believe is he was recruited. You know, I think he was recruited. I think the question was posed, was Trump approached about running for the presidency, ? In one of the earlier Q drops. And we know the question mark means that we're giving you a statement. Was he approached about running? Well, yes, he was. Yes, I was, but I'll never tell you that I was. Okay? I'm never telling you. This is me not telling you how I was not approached in any way ever to run for this position. Okay? In fact, I've lost billions and billions of dollars as a result of this position. Okay? It could have started off that way, that he thought, you know what, I'll just take them all down because, you know, and I don't like that Epstein character. I found out what he was about in 2000 and somebody help me, 4 or 2008 or whatever it was. It was well before he got busted for the first little wave of him with underage girls. And he found out, you know, and obviously, you know, the story of Mar-a-Lago and him kicking him out when he found out he was hitting on like a 15 or a 14-year-old daughter or something like that, to somebody that normally you wouldn't catch wind of that. But he caught wind and he said, "You're out of here. You're fired. You are fired. Okay? Fired. You're fired." And he fired Epstein out of there. But, you know, guys, lots going on with Ghislaine Maxwell right now. We're winning in the courts to have everything revealed. It's a D5 avalanche of truth that is storming the beaches of Normandy, United States. But the great part about this is I really feel like there's a lot of people awake, you know? And it still might not be enough to stop what's going to happen when people find out the truth. It might not be. But when this is all done and over, I think we'll all agree that we were in the best position, and Trump put everybody in the best position, that if they simply allowed themselves or enlightened themselves to even entertain the truth, that they could have been shown the way. You know, this wasn't a covered up movement. This wasn't hidden from people, not till now. But, I mean, this is desperation, all the censorship. They should have did this 2.5 years ago and let it all fight out in court, and so we're not letting any of this out. But hindsight's 2020, and I'm not sure that they really even had a clear 2020 vision that they could have gotten around the incredible plan that this has been. But they are the enemy of themselves also, because part of this plan working had to deal with them attacking. That's what's nuts. We, right? The whole way, multiple times throughout this thing, what have we been shown? Moves and counter moves, right? They equated to chess. It quickly got adopted. It went to 3D chess. It went to 3D underwater snorkeling with your bathing suit on your head chess, and so on and so forth. But it's moves and counter moves, and here we are 3 years later. The deep state is completely naked and undressed. And the Trump campaign is looking at them like, please get out of the way. We're trying to run a country. You've been exposed. Totally. Highly exposed people. That's what you all are. And you're also very fake. You're fake news and fake people. I mean, did you hear President Trump last night? He told that White House reporter that he was a criminal. He said, Joe Biden is a criminal. It's all reported. It's all shown. Everybody sees. And you're a criminal for reporting fake news. And he told him. Oh, my God. He told him. So, guys, the purge happened on October 15th. That's the day the news dropped and the bomb dropped on the laptop. So we're talking 6 days ago now. But technically, all day tomorrow will also be that it happened 6 days ago. So semantics. But it's the biggest hard-hitting truth channels have been gone for 6 days. All on the day that the information dropped on the hard drive. There's no coincidences at all. This is ramping up. This is going to be huge. Giuliani, the next 10 days, all of it ramping up. It's going to be huge. Be ready. Buckle up. Stay aware of your surroundings. Watch what's going on. Wake people up. Listen, if you don't think that right now maybe people are more susceptible, I hate that word, susceptible to being awoke, they are right now. Because who are they putting in front of the American people to vote, for the Democrats? He's so terrible, they won't let him go into front of the camera until the election or until the debate. He's that bad. Because he has nothing to say. Because nobody wants to hear anything he has to say. Nobody wants to hear a damn word that any of them have to say. And they know it. They know it. How could they not know it? I mean, you would think the fact that nobody, I'm talking nobody, shows up to any of his events. You have circles painted out there with 2 chairs, and you're filling 14 of them with 2 people. This is the former vice president of, at the time, one of the most popular presidents at the time, for parts of it. He can't draw a crowd. Nobody. These people were retarded to not come more left and endorse Bernie and make his life beautiful if he would decide to play ball. Like, if I was going to say I'm in the deep state, I'm looking at Bernie. That's the only dude that could have at least stayed endearing and went against Trump. These people played all of their cards wrong. And why is it? Is it because Bernie couldn't be bought? Why wouldn't they have picked Bernie? Is it because that guy couldn't be technically bought? He got bought by Hillary. They bought him a house. But why in the world would they not endorse him? Because is he Jew? Is he Jewish? I don't even know. He sounds Jewish. I can tell you that. He kind of sounds like Harry Carey a little bit. But that's Harry Carey. And Bernie sounds like he's always yelling at you. But Harry Carey could call a baseball game. The end of 5, it's the Packers 6, the Cubs 2. Hi, check out the sombrero on the kid down there. That's a good-looking youngster. Let's not forget next Thursday's Midget Day here at the ballpark. Anybody accompanying a legal midget gets in for free. What's up, Ray? Hi, Ray. If the moon's made out of cheese, would you take a bite? I would. I used to hear this comic do this bit about Harry Carey. It's pretty funny. His name is Steve. His name is, and now I can't think of his name, but it's like Steve Caparello. He used to tell the best joke about Harry Carey. He said the funny thing about Harry Carey, this is what he would say. He'd say if he was in the middle of one of his stories, the play-by-play would become incidental. It's like it never even existed. And the guy next to him goes, "Oh, what do you mean?" He goes, "I'll give you an example." He goes, "Harry's one time he's going, I'm down on Rush Street, and I had too many tacos and jalapenos, and that's a fastball off Dawson's head. Both benches empty. Anyway, I had to get a hold of some Kaopectate, because I had the diarrhea." He's in a stretcher. I think he's dead. Anyway, Harry was the best. And I guess maybe it's one of those you had to be there moments. But yeah. I don't know. I think it's good to have some fun now and then too, like in the middle of all this. You can't be, I don't know, you got to play a little bit, I think that's as important as paying attention to the truth. I think you have to be able to allow yourself to decompress and play and have fun and be silly and make jokes. And I think that's all super healthy. I do. Which maybe some people don't look down on, or they look down on it and stuff. But you know what? I would tell you that those people are probably the most miserable people you'll ever meet. They take themselves way too seriously. They take life way too seriously. Listen, this shit is not that complicated. We fuck it up and we gum it up at times in our lives, but this shit is not that hard. Like, go to sleep, wake up, and try to do a good job. And again, I'm not minimizing anybody's circumstances because I understand more than anybody. No, I don't. Not more than anybody. But I understand, like a lot of you, that there are ups and there's downs. And I know we all go through them. I know. But, man, I think to try to just know that I don't know, man. I mean, we have to move forward as a society. You have to strive to move forward. You're thinking forward. Sound thinking. Based in fact. It's I don't know. I don't know. This has been crazy, you guys. I think about this too. This coming March, which I know is about 5 months away. That's going to be 3 years ago I started this channel. 3 years. Which to me, it's just like, oh my God, where did the time go? Like where I feel like it was yesterday. I swear to God that I was trying to upload and film that bridge collapse in Florida. I don't know if you guys never seen it. It was my first video I ever put on YouTube. I was sitting in a bathrobe. You don't see me really, unless you look at the reflection in the laptop. But I filmed a bridge collapse, and it was a total conspiracy video. But it was about like 30 seconds or maybe a minute or something like that. But you know what? I still stand by what I said in that video. So if you've never seen it, go watch the very first video I ever did. And you guys want to know what else? I've gone on here many times when I should have, when I was completely polluted. And I totally deleted those videos over the course of the last 3 years. So don't hate me for that shit. Sorry. It's been pretty fun though. It's been good. It's been good. And I like that most of you I know how to maintain a contact with. Should they just cancel all truth channels or anybody talking any truth? I'm very happy that I have this, no matter what this brings. I mean, not that way. I know what this brings. Not no matter what it brings. I know what this brings. But I'm very happy to have gone along this with you guys. Like, if they shut down all of these venues, you guys have been awesome. And keep sharing the truth, Keep focus. Because I think this future for the world is, I don't know, maybe it's been through prayer of many nations over the course of decades that have rooted out this. I don't know. What I do know is that bad shit and bad people are going down. And people that seem to want good things for people is on, they're the ones doing it. And something about that feels real good to get behind, because there's no in between those two. I mean, if you're behind them, then you're either A, evil and purposely like them because you like everything they say and believe everything about Trump, or B, you're misguided. You're just, I'm Democrat because my parents and their parents and their parents, any of this. And I don't get involved in politics. And, what I would really, really hope for the Democrats out there is I would hope that they would, on election day, look at Joe Biden and realize how terrible of a candidate he actually is. But he won't be there, I don't think. But to look at how bad of a candidate he is and say, I won't vote, period. I can't bring myself to vote for him, and I won't vote for Trump. So I won't vote. And I just hope that these people would TDS so bad, just choose to just take their football and go home. Just take your ball and go home, okay? We're tired of carrying your water. It's time for you to wake up. Whether you will or not, I don't know. Honestly, the proof is so much in your face that if you don't wake up, or if you won't wake up, what else do you want me to do? Should I put you in a chair and duct tape you to it and Just strap a video to your face and just say, understand this. I mean, what do you want people to do? The crazy part too of this is that most of the people that don't believe it are some of the most like freedom loving people that love their freedoms, and they don't realize that through the socialism and everything that goes with that and the Green New Deal is that eventually it'll be stripped away and it'll be gone, and any money that you think you'll have to go do those things will be gone. It's amazing. We have to be the fortune tellers for all the dreamers in America. We gotta look out for them, for their own sake, because they can't do it themselves. But if they could wrap their head around that shit, maybe they could, join society and say, I don't know, man. This has to, when the framers of the Constitution put it all together, they knew that it took a collective body of people. And I was talking to some people earlier. We were going back and forth, and this might be boring a little bit, but I'll just spend a second on it. But we were going back and forth about the early voting and talking about the Electoral College. And basically, you know what? I have to apologize. It actually spun into a conversation about the Supreme Court and the packing. So I'm just going to not go down that road because I already covered what I was talking about with the Supreme Court. So never mind. Get it. I don't know, man. I'm jacked. I'm excited. I hope you are. Keep watching. Keep talking. Keep looking out. Keep listening. The panic in DC is real. It's real. Here in Michigan, we had Pete Buttigieg. I call him Pete Boot Edge. Okay? Pete Buttigieg. Mayor Pete. Never call him that. Boot Edge. Mayor Pete came to West Michigan, and they don't know what they're doing. This is a battleground state, but they're not winning Michigan. Not happening. And I don't think they're winning Pennsylvania, and I don't think they're winning Wisconsin. And honestly, I don't think they're winning California. They'll win New York. They can manipulate it. They'll win Illinois. They can manipulate it. They'll win the coastal northern seaboard, Delaware through Vermont. No, Vermont will go red, but Maine will go Democrat. I mean, they'll get a few bones, but there would nothing be cooler in the world than if Trump could throw the California dagger into their heart. That would just be the best. Kamala's state. And sleepy Joe Biden. Pretty sleepy, pretty sleazy. And he's about to go down. And the redneck prepper in the house. I see. Do we have any people here watching that aren't saying hello? We'd love to see you. Hello. If you don't want to, that's okay too. What else you guys want to talk about? I'm coming up on an hour right now. Exactly 1 hour into the night. All right. Well, 12:42. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot more to say. I wanted to really talk about the 10 days that Giuliani spoke about. I want to see what that's about starting tomorrow. I want to see what's going on. Um, you know, guys, our destiny is right in front of us right now. It's in front of everybody. And I think a lot of people get it, but make sure that make sure that in the next 2 weeks, if you hear a hint of anything that you can interject and make somebody feel better about it, guide them, help them. Let's get this done. This has to be done. And I think it is. Mel says Saturday is 10 days, right? I'm not sure what that means. What's up, Red Pill? Red Pill Marine. Nice to see you, pal. He came in for the fourth quarter. Put me in, coach. I'm ready. Put me in. Yeah, it is, Robert Nizella. It is good to see Red Pill. Well, I was thinking about wrapping up the stream, but perhaps I'll go just a little bit longer. Anything you guys see in the news cycle you want to talk about that I've missed? And I know I've missed much. I will check the Q drops for a second just to see. Oh, yeah. There was one Q drop tonight, you guys. It was a cut to the movie Crimson Tide. If you've never seen it, watch it. It's really good. Denzel Washington is the second in command on the submarine ship. Now, we've been all told about Red October, hunt for the Red October. Come up to a certain depth, because that's when you put, when you go rig for red, all those things that you've kind of known about throughout this adventure. You know about it. So in the clip that's played in the newest Q drop, I might be able to actually play it out loud. I won't be able to show it. Yes, I will. Actually, I will. Look at me. Me technology in the worst way. But I'm trying. All right, I'm trying. I'm trying to get this done for you. Let's see if it'll finally play. All right, it's Denzel Washington, and it says he's going to say set condition 1 SQ for strategic missile launch.
Set condition 1 SQ for strategic missile launch. Set condition 1 SQ for strategic missile launch. Set condition 1 SQ for strategic missile launch.
Okay. Now, what's cool about what I just showed you is that was a Q drop tonight. That was a Q drop tonight. Earlier tonight. Strategic missile launch is what he said. And that was given to the community. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see. Shots fired. Shots fired. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Checking a couple things. Somebody tweeted out, if Biden wins, China wins. That's true. More importantly, if Biden wins, we lose. And I don't use that word. I don't lose. I don't lose. And we're not going to lose. We're going to endure. We're going to make it. We're going to fight. We're going to make it. You're damn right. They can't break us. They can't break this movement. There's nothing they can do that can disrupt the momentum of this movement. It's definitely going. I will wrap up tonight's stream by giving you unscripted 2 minutes and 20 seconds of Herb Brooks giving his motivational speech to the 1980 United States Olympic hockey team, which shocked the world in Lake Placid, 1980. I was 8 years old. I remember it. It was a replay. Check it out. Let me do this for you guys. Oh, shit. Did I really do that? Oh, you guys, what am I doing?
Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have here tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game.
One
If we play them
election.
10 times, they might win 9. But not this game. Not tonight. Tonight, we skate are the greatest hockey team in the world. You were born to be a hockey player. Every one of you. And you were meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. I'm sick and tired of hearing about what a great hockey team the Soviets have. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Rock and roll, hooch coo, gang roll, hooch coo. Lord and mama, get my cool, get my cool. I love that cut. I love that part of that movie. It's my favorite part of the whole movie. Their time is done. He's just this guy from the Minnesota woods. Their time over. It's done. He's just like, pow. That's how I feel about the deep state. Their time is over. Their time is done. Sick and tired about hearing how great. Actually, not how great. I'm sick and tired of hearing how awful we are as a country. I am so sick and tired of the black eye that they have given us as a country, and they try to paint us. Every one of you in this chat are God-loving Americans. And okay, maybe not God-loving, because I don't know every one of you, but you love America. You love its freedom and what it represents. You know, there's parts of that you attach yourself to. But what's remarkable is when we think about it on a global scale, is that we live in the greatest democracy, and we live in a republic. I get that, a constitutional republic. But we live in the greatest country ever that is voted and run through a democratic process. And we live in this country, most of us. We get to have this. We can't let the left steal this from the rest of the world. Socialism is done. Their time is over. It's been proven. Socialism doesn't work. And on the flip side of the other argument for the Democrats is that, you know what? Pedophilia doesn't work either. And human trafficking doesn't work either. And that actually goes to both sides, because as we've been shown throughout this journey, it's bipartisan. Child rape, human trafficking, it's bipartisan. It doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Fortunately, throughout the course of the last 4 years, most of these have been scrubbed and exposed out of the administrations and have either resigned or moved on to other ventures. I guess that's the same thing, but have moved on to other ventures. I caught myself, I rewatched my video the other day. I caught myself going, I'll tell you what, I said, I'm not outspoken, but I blah, blah, blah. And I like listen to that whole little patch, and I'm like, dude, like, no, you just totally like contradicted yourself like 4 times in about 76 seconds. So for that, I apologize if you caught that. But what I was really just trying to say is that I'm not outspoken unless I believe in something extremely big, you know, to this point. I wouldn't have made a YouTube channel, but I believe in this. And I was encouraged to make it, but I believed in what I was coming on to say. You know, I trusted myself to be a good balance to the truth within myself. And I felt like I had enough that, you know, I needed to get that out. So I wanted people to hear it and tell me, you're crazy, you're nuts, you're right on, I get it. You know, yes, we are doing it. I don't know. Anyway, all right, 1 minute or 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's a while. So I think I need to wrap it up. Let's keep our eyes open. Let's watch what's going on. I think things are about to be very exposed, and make your voice count, because like I said, if you can't do it on social media moving forward in the next 10 days, they might cut every one of our channels. Yours, if you've ever posted anything, or they might cut it all out. So stay vocal in your community, and you all know how to get a hold of each other, and that's good too. So I love you guys. Peace out, and God bless America for real. And see you soon. Bye.